Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds. Hang out with these nerds.
Nate the Nerdarch.
Nerdarch is Ted.
And join us as we do a spoiler-free recap of our most recent holiday game of D&D.
Jump down in the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So a while back, we were invited down to Think Geek to run a Halloween game for them. Or a holiday game, I should say, at this point, since we're a little bit past Halloween. Which was a lot of fun. And we went down there on a Thursday night, ran the game on a Friday night. They streamed it to their Twitch, their YouTube, and their Facebook Live. Matter of fact, the game exists out on the internet. You guys can actually watch it if you wanted to. But we figured we'd do a quick recap and talk about it a little bit without going into too many spoilers or anything.
So can we put a link down in the description below?
Absolutely not. There will be a link in the description below, guys.
All right, so you ran the game, you were a player, and I wasn't there.
Ted wasn't invited. No, Ted was busy.
Yeah,
all right,
but
so
a lot of people from Think Geek who were available played instead.
Yeah, where did we end up? We ended up with 6 players, 5 players.
6 players. And one of them was someone we know from outside of Think Geek.
Yes. Yeah, so we had 4 players from Think Geek. We had 2 players that were not from Think Geek, one being Nate from Nerdarchy. And we also had Seth Pulowski from Of Dyson Men. He's also an IP attorney and a sound engineer. And he's also currently working on the Art of D&D Eye of the Beholder documentary as well. So we got to play with some really cool and fun and interesting people at the table. We had a nice swath of age ranges.
It was a nice cast of characters. In fact, we did a video. You did a video with Erin from Think Geek, where she actually created several of the characters for that event, and it was a lot of fun interacting with them all.
Yeah, she did a great job with pre-genning the characters. She wasn't in the game. She actually was running the switching and the stream while we got to play. So kudos to her. She was, she did an amazing job. And it was kind of cool because they had a 3-camera setup and they would switch back and forth between the different cameras. So, so that part was pretty cool. A little more advanced and high tech than we normally have here at Nerdarchy. So the theme for the game was the player characters were going to be going to a vampire's ball. None of them were particularly close to the level one would expect them to be battling vampires. So there was that bit of an obstacle for him to overcome.
Well, it's a quick way to end the game if you wanted to just fight some vampires, because you're just going to kill them.
That's true. And then Erin decided to have fun with building the characters for the game. Mm-hmm. They were all based off monster tropes. The Dugar kind of was based off of the Invisible Man. There was a Wolfman type character with the Bugbear that was actually a butler. Was his thing, and he was a barbarian, so it was hilarious. Yeah, I thought she was kind of going Jekyll and Hyde, but that
made me think of Jekyll and Hyde. But yeah,
but I think she was to her mind she was thinking Wolfman. But either way, it was great. And Bianca, the player, played that character amazingly.
Yeah, I think
that was so good.
That was the stream's favorite.
I think so, and I think rightly so.
Oh yeah.
I know you shouldn't pick favorites, but I'm totally picking favorites. Yeah, Harold the Bugbear was amazing. He even handed the vampire that was holding the ball his resume. He was temporarily out of work.
That's awesome.
Harold didn't want to get my recommendation for working with me. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's true. We also had a character inspired by Phantom of the Opera, and it was a drow. So that was fun. We had your classical Van Helsing. Monster
one thing to say about the bard is he actually brought with him a little electronic weird keyboard thing with the ability whammy, I guess a whammy thing, and he did it really neat, and he did it several times throughout the game, and it was a miniaturized piano.
Yeah, in game he's a magic item.
That sounded a little off because of its miniaturization.
He's like, I'm a bard. I'm going to play music during the session. Bad music. So it was good.
Yeah.
Then there was the Monster Hunter, and we also had a Fey Pact Warlock in the group as well. And then you played
I ended up playing Kelvin Reichard, who is a necromancer who talks to his necromantically raised creatures, like his friend Nib Nib, or Nebuchadnezzar to people who really know him. And it was fun because he's my only chaotic neutral character I've ever made, and he's bonkers nuts. But he has his own kind of like mentality on how the world works, and like talking to skeletons like they're real people, and because to him they are, and interacting with people in strange manners like that. I had a lot of fun because it was nice playing off the other characters because they were so different and so engaging. Everybody was kind of like sharing the spotlight and being able to kind of like showcase what their character was really about in the times that they had available. So I like the kind of like sharing of the space with everybody because we all had kind of like off the wall like Halloween characters, but it was like still like it was nice to compartmentalize like playing off the individual players and their characters.
And Aaron was totally like, yeah, I didn't make any clerics. I figured every man for themselves. They don't need them. It's a one shot.
My cleric was sucking the life force out of other people, but no one else could get healed that way, so boo to them.
Well, you healed the important people.
Yeah, me. Who was never damaged. That's what it felt like. I felt like I was never damaged because I was always getting healed.
So I actually stole the concept for this game from several different Dresden File parties, really. There was 2 different vampire parties in the different books, and I kind of mashed them together in order to create the feel I wanted. And the party really did a great job of just working together, capturing the spirit of the game, and really just having fun with it.
So do you guys have any, like, I know we're trying to be spoiler friendly, do you have any moments that you felt like made the night for you?
Yes, there was definitely moments where Nate's character came up with a brilliant plan that was way too complicated for his undead minion to execute. Oh, actually, you didn't even touch on that.
Oh, yeah.
You're +1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I had Katarina, my lovely +1, come with me. And she was, Dave gave us 1 magic item, and I used it for Hat of the Sky so my skeleton could look like a regular person. And like she used to look in life, which he is determined to get her to look like one day. And I was instructing her we were trying to save some people, and I was instructing her on how to do it. And I was like a regular person, like I can tell Dave 5 or 6 sentences and go, all right, you got that? And he's like, yeah, I got the general idea. I'll go do it if he's within his power. Well, I mean, skeletons can't do that. But I had other people in the group had to recognize, wait a minute. He's a necromancer and he should know his undead, but that undead's not going to do what he says. And I said it with 100% confidence that skeleton was going to do everything I asked of it.
So were the players and the characters acting differently because they knew, or did the actual characters know that was a skeleton?
There was thankfully there was the monster hunter, and she was like kind of like an expert in all kinds of stuff. So, the player and the character as well both would have recognized, like, hey, wait, this is not going to jive, because while it's disguised, there's certain tells for certain types of creatures. Yeah, like smells like catacombs, like a whole bunch of old bones in here. Yeah, so there's certain things that a monster hunter would pick up on and know that's a skeleton, and there are several other. I think several of the players recognized it as such.
Okay, cool.
Even though the disguise was on.
Yeah, and I guess one of the things I did that totally lifted from the White Court party from Dresden Files was, as the players were coming up to the party in their coach, the walkways and roadways were lit by fairies that were in cages. And, it did not appear they were there willingly, judging by the locks on the outside of the cage. And then as soon as they, came into the actual ball itself to the party, they just saw all kinds of like undead and other kinds of monsters as well. And they had chances and opportunities to interact with these different powerful beings, which some of them took advantage of and others did not want any parts in.
I think most of us were too scared to talk to anything, or like, they're going to murder us. We were definitely, several of us had the cattle mentality, like we're going to get eaten.
Right, so what level was the party?
The party was 5th level.
5th level.
And as we said, they got standard gear pretty much, plus like 1 magic item.
Now, what was the biggest thing that they could have fought should they have done something stupid?
Vampire Lord. Well, I don't even think the Vampire Lord might not have been the worst thing. I don't know. Like,
there was some nasty
I know.
stuff
I know when you were talking.
There may have been a couple Fey Lords at this party. There may have been a Death Knight wandering around. I might have been inclined at some point to slip in a polymorph dragon.
That's what I was going with, because I know, like, from the original party in Book 3 of the Dresden Files, there was, I think it's Ceravax or something along those lines, that was a legitimate dragon that Harry Dresden met. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and Dresden's like mouthing off to him, and Michael's like, maybe you don't want to do that.
It's like, that's not a cigar he's smoking. That's actual smoke coming from his
yeah. That's not lit.
Yeah, there was several. Dave did a great job describing several of the NPCs that we could have interacted with, and several of us did. But there was that kind of like feeling of, we are like walking. They were carrying around. People were carrying around wine trays and other foods, and we're like a walking tray of something. We're worried about getting consumed.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, the party was full of all like beautiful model-esque people that were the servants, right? And when, like, kind of like the running joke was when Harold is trying to pass off his resume and telling other people that he thinks that he's going to get hired. They're looking at the bugbear going, I don't think you're quite the type. Are you going to shave a lot, nair something?
Nair.
I'm like when you
in your future.
when you walk around this place, you feel like there's a silhouette that you have to be able to walk through to even begin to hand in your resume. Was kind of the feel we're going.
Yeah,
with.
that's the impression I got.
Nice.
And yeah, the bugbear was going to smash that silhouette.
So did you lead this off with, like, they had an objective, or were they there for another reason?
Yeah, they were there because they were tipped off by a patron of one of the players, and the player had to assemble a group to go in, and they needed some non-standard adventurers, should we say, that'll fit in with maybe some monsters for this objective. And all they really knew was at the witching hour, 3 a.m., a horrible ritual was going to take place. It was going to be really bad, and they were given a vial that they were to pour onto the witch stone that was going to be used in the culmination of this ritual, and in order to disrupt the ritual.
Yeah, so we had to find the witch stone and live to the time that we had to use the vial.
Yeah, and use it at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
And then, after that, fun and annex ensued. Or maybe they didn't. It just depends. Did they succeed? Did they not? But you can find out on the internet. If you watch this, hey, why don't you let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over at nerdarchy.com.
Or you can check us out over on Facebook.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.